Hi, I'm Breeze108 and I want to show you how to make a flower farm. I've not seen too many of these. I know they're not in great demand, but sometimes you just need a whole lot of flowers for dye, and some multiplayer servers you can sell them. They don't make a lot of money, but they are a little bit of a steady income. First thing you need to do is pick your space. Now obviously you want a flower forest, that's where lots of varieties grow, but not all varieties grow in the same spot in a flower forest. Sometimes you'll get a concentration of one color tulips or another color tulips, or you'll get these or you won't get these. So you got to pick your spot. Also, if you can find a spot that's close to the edge of the biome, so you can have 2 biomes worth of flowers in it. So here I have found a plains, a flower forest, and a swamp, which is very unusual to find 3 like that. So I usually build mine underground because, hey, farms aren't pretty. So don't need to go down real far. Now this one is pretty big. You can get a lot of flowers, obviously. First I'll go over the controls that I have. I have a simple hopper clock with 2 outputs. This is a temporary thing to hold my gates closed so it doesn't flood. One of them you have to use the repeaters to keep the redstone from merging. This one goes to the dispensers. And obviously you gotta use your repeaters to keep your redstone strong. Each dispenser, well, I just put in 64 just a minute ago and tested it out, but each dispenser has had 64 in it. You have to have about 3. These can't be longer than 7 because of the way the water flows. So you have to have the dispensers 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 apart, and 3 or 4 from the edge all the way around. Otherwise you don't have a good coverage. Now this one covers this one little area here. I've got 3 on this side and 3 on that side, and I think I've got 3 and 2. Alright, the rest of it is run by pistons with repeaters going into it. And also, sometimes you have to add an extra repeater and adjust the ticks to make sure everything works as you want it to. Otherwise, sometimes your water will dispense faster than you want and you won't get good coverage. So as you can see here, we have this is a flower forest biome right here. And then we go over, we have a plains and swampland there, and flower forest here. And this one is plains. Got a little bit of swampland in it, mostly plains though. Okay, so I found with this particular one, 18 blocks is good to put it in the hopper. You'll have to adjust it yourself to find what works. So put the 18 blocks in, take that away, and put 1 of these. So what the adjustment that you need to make is you want to make sure all your water is down before all the water is gone before your bone meal comes up, which sometimes can be a little tricky, but it's not that hard to figure out. And you don't get the same flowers every time. Now from what I've learned about growing flowers is each block will grow like the block there had an nylium on it. It might not grow any other kind of flower. It might grow one other kind of flower, but it's not going to grow a nylium and a tulip and a dandelion, and it's only going to grow a couple of kinds of flowers. Obviously, you get tons of seeds too. My collection is just a water stream and a hopper and a chest. That works fine. You can make it fancier if you want. I don't see any need to it. It's not like you're going to get, I mean, it depends on how much you want, really. But it works pretty good. Everything goes down in there. And I made a little AFK room. So, this is what you get with 64 in each dispenser. A stack and a half of several items. Oops, I got that one out of the way. About a stack and a half, more or less. Didn't get so many red tulips. Sometimes you don't get so many pink, or you don't get so many white. But that was with 64 bone meal in each one. I usually sell them at the server market for a diamond for half a stack. And since I don't use a lot of diamonds, it keeps me in diamonds. I don't need to go mining for them usually. This type of water dispenser, I think you've seen probably a million times before. I am not a redstone person, and if I can figure this out, I seriously think anybody can figure this out. It's not hard. You just got to make sure you put your repeaters. This one and that one are both on 4 ticks, because if you put them less than that, I'll show you what happens. Well, sometimes it takes more than one cycle. Anyway, whatever. I put it 4 ticks because it wasn't working right. The water was released too quickly. Do I have that one on 4 ticks also? No, just the one. Anyway, so I am going to stop this segment and go to the next. Okay, this one is one of the first ones that I made. I made it go in this direction. It's 2 biomes. I think it's plains and flower forest. And I used dispensers for the water, which sort of limits how wide you can have it. Of course, you can use as many dispensers as you want. Works pretty good, except for the controls are a little bit wasteful. I forget what you call this kind of thing. Usually they're not that long, but because of the long distance the water had to flow, I had to have, this whole area has to be clear of water before your bone meal is dispensed. Otherwise you're going to waste your bone meal. But that's the main problem with this one anyway, is this one dispenses bone meal on every click. So one click it's covered with water, and the next click it's not. So you sort of waste half of your bone meal. So that's why I figured out the other way. But this is, you know, it worked for a long time. If you got yourself a skeleton farm, it doesn't make any difference. You got more bone meal and you wouldn't know what to do with. But if for some reason you don't have your own skeleton farm on your property, and you got to buy it from somebody else, your bone meal, then you definitely want the other kind so you don't waste anything. And what doesn't get washed down first time gets washed down the second time. And it has pretty good production too. Okay, this one I built in 1.13.1. Pretty much the exact same thing. your hopper clock with your repeaters going out. So one line goes to your bone meal and the other line goes to your controls, your water controls. You have to keep this one lit if it's not in use, otherwise your water will be spilling all over the place and killing your grass. Pretty simple, just uses a lot of repeaters. I'm sure there's another way of doing that, but hey, this works for me. This is where the bone meal is. See, I've got 1, 2, 3, I think the 2 on one side and 1 on the other, with repeaters to keep all your bone meal nice and hot. And I got a variety of things here. I built this not thinking I was going to make a tutorial on it, but I ended up doing it. I think I have it all cleared out because I put it all in my store. I've got a water stream that empties into the hoppers because I ran out of iron. And I didn't have enough iron to finish it up, so I put a water stream there for that part. Okay, so I got the narrow one and the wide one that has 2 dispensers under it. And let me see how many. 30. So this one has 32 for the hopper because it has a long way to go and it's got to be all the way down before the bone meal starts off. Okay. This is, because I have it turned off, it makes a lag. So pre-place the redstone there. See, there goes the water. As soon as you turn it off, the water pops out. Put in your 32. Okay, I should have put it in the other side. Hope I don't have to redo this whole video because I put it in the wrong side. Okay, so that closes it up. The water flows all the way down to the bottom. It swaps back and pops up all the bone meal. Let's make sure this is doing right up here. As I said, sometimes you gotta adjust things. You gotta give some of your repeaters a couple extra ticks. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, this one's gonna need a couple extra ticks to make sure that the water isn't flowing before the bone meal comes out. Unless you've got tons of bone meal and don't care about wasting any. But I don't. At least not on this server. Let's see how that worked. That's better. Only lost 1 block worth. So this is Flower Forest only on this side. I have the Plains ones over here. It's not as big because they actually make a lot more flowers, but it's the same principle with your repeaters and not going that direction, keeping it shut. Sounds like a skelly around here somewhere. Does the same thing. Now I'm not going to show you a step-by-step how to build these things. I'll give the this is pretty simple. You guys all know how to do that kind of stuff. And this is just the glass on top of a sticky piston. I don't even know if that's got anything in it. It doesn't, does it? 16. So this one's got 16. Probably has no bone meal either. So you just put the glass on top of the sticky piston, put your water sources back there. Oh, there he is. No bones. Oh, whatever. So, that's how you make a flower farm. Pretty simple. But believe it or not, I have never seen one like this. you see those little, oh, you just dispense a bunch of bone meal onto a rose. But hey, you don't need a dispenser to put bone meal on a rose. That's so darn simple, it's ridiculous. This is a little trickier. So, if you need tons of dye or lots and lots of flowers, this is what you do. Alright, Breeze 108. Now, leave any comments or suggestions in the comments, but keep in mind, this is my first how-to video. I am sure there's all kinds of ways I could have done this better. Alright, see you guys later. Bye-bye.